Carla, Secretariat reporting from home about online teaching. It is a pleasure to introduce to you Dean and Professor Stephen Hardy from Coventry University in the United Kingdom. Among his several appointments at the International Association of Law Schools, Dean Hardy is a governing board member and also chair of the Civil Procedure Study Group. Welcome, Professor Hardy, and thank you for joining us today.
Lovely to see you.
What platforms is Coventry using to teach online?
In the last few weeks, we've like every other law school across the globe, we've had choices to make. So first of all, we've used Microsoft Teams for meetings and also for some teaching, because Teams can allow us to use PowerPoint as we're talking. And then we've used for seminars, predominantly we've used Skype and Zoom. The most effective we've used more of is Zoom. Zoom's great. It has the opportunity to have the hand raising function. More importantly, it has a chat function, so the students can raise questions as we go along. And that's interesting because in our experience of using it, the students who normally wouldn't ask questions in big lectures certainly ask questions on Zoom using chat. So that's a more efficient and interactive way of managing student questions. But the best thing about Zoom is the breakout rooms. So there's a facility on Zoom that you can break into 50 different groups. So that means you can have as many groups as you like. We have been using it for groups of 5 or 10. And so you can visit each room, allow each room to control itself. And so that sort of platform facility means that the students themselves can break off and use whiteboard, raise issues, be creative amongst themselves, and actually have a smaller discussion group. So that's how things have panned out in terms of our platforms. It's a mixture, but generally speaking, it's been utilizing Zoom because Zoom allows us to break down into the smaller groups and be more interactive.
Can you please let us know about any unique teaching approaches to keep your students interested?
Lots of online innovation is what's been happening over the last few weeks. We've done something quite unusual. We've done mooting, so mock trials online. That's interesting because the UK courts are now moving to doing that themselves, having telephone hearings and having online or live streaming courts. So actually our students are practicing what the UK courts are about to adopt. But the key thing and the key sort of pedagogical innovation for us has been being more interactive. Because we're online and not in a physical classroom, we've tried to maintain that physicality with more interaction. And so we've been utilizing quizzes a lot more. And as colleagues will know across the globe, there's lots of Quizlet packs or web tools to do quizzes, but the quizzes has enabled us to engage a bit more with the students in the middle of the seminar or lecture online. And best of all, and I think more effective, we've been utilizing multiple choice questions more. So at the end of each session we've had, is the answer A, B, C, D, E? Tick a box, next question. And that sort of level of interaction is not only just maintain the students in their interest, but actually it's allowed us to interact as we might have done had we been in the classroom. So replacing the classroom with a virtual classroom still means that we're able to interact, and it's worked really well. And the students have been quite excited about it.
Any concluding thoughts you would like to share?
In probably weeks, we've done what would usually take us 2 or 3 years. So it's been a remarkable challenge, but it's been met by most of our members across the globe. And I think all our members across the globe will now realize that there will be no going back. So online is here to stay. I certainly hope that it's going to be more blended in future. So we know that our students want to be on campus. So when they're on campus, let's not lose the facility of being interactive online as well as doing on-campus activities. But I think above all, online assessments. We've now done for the first time in the UK online assessments, and I therefore don't think we'll be going back to the old way of assessments. And so online assessments is here to stay. I think whilst we've been innovating more and being more creative, which is what this terrible pandemic has allowed us to do. So out of misery comes one good thing in terms of education. We've been able to knowledge share on a wider level. So maybe our levels of widening participation are greater than they've ever been, and that's a great benefit to the law and the rule of law, as well as everything else. But I think my big concluding thought would be that online has allowed us, and teaching remotely has allowed us to be more flexible and agile in the way that we teach. And I think that is certainly the way forward for all law schools, if they're going to be modern law schools. And I think that greater flexibility allows us all to rethink our teaching and probably make it better and enhance our teaching. I, like many of my colleagues and members of the association, are now or have become a digital dean, and that's quite interesting in itself, because it gives new challenges that we have to manage people digitally, we have to educate people digitally, but most importantly, we have to remain providing a student experience digitally. And I think that is not going to go away once this pandemic is over. And it's for all of us to embrace and continue to innovate in the creative way that we have. I think the students are excited about it, and I think the staff are very excited about it. So I look forward to seeing more online and the digital world as a digital dean as this exciting project online progresses.
Professor Hardy, thank you for your insights. We're so fortunate to have you as part of the IALS. And to our viewers, we hope this helps you in your teaching approaches. I know that Buddy approves. Stay tuned for more to come.